Welcome back to Chaos Collectibles. So I just got done finishing another figure, and I think this one's my best one so far. I know I said that last time, but like I said, I'm going to try to improve every time I knock one of these figures out. So I ended up finishing the Orc today, spent all day on this sucker, spent a little bit of time yesterday, and this one's taken me a while. But because of the paint, I think this one is the best one that I've done so far. And yes, as far as paint goes, I even mean more than the Pictish Scout. That's right, everybody. I'm really excited about presenting this guy here. This is Bludgeon the Orc. So let's take a look at some of these details in here. This shoulder armor took me hours to do today. So how exactly did I make this guy? So first off, as always, I end up priming the figure, but this one I end up making the head first. And I was a little disappointed because I put this thing together, put the head on, did the neck and everything, but the head ended up tilting on me a little bit, so it's not straight up and down. He's kind of tilted a little bit, and you can kind of see where the neck lifted up there. There's a line there where the chin used to be, where it was nice and straight, but it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. By the time I got home from being out of town, the neck was rock frickin' solid. So I ended up taking this bad boy out, primed him into fur brown. And then I went over him with a chocolate brown, mixed chocolate brown with the barbarian skin tone to get this orc grayish color. And then from there, I ended up painting the eyes. Just did that yesterday. Brown eyes. And then I did the teeth this morning. Black for the hair. Black for the waist there. And then I got the printed frickin' shoulder pauldrons, and I ended up doing those today. So those were primered, and then I went over it with the black. But as you can see, the black left looks almost like the color of a dirty penny. So I left that the way it is. And then from there, I ended up painting all the ropes on this sucker. Painted all the ropes. And then he looks like he has like coins or something like that. So what I ended up doing with those is I mixed a Stonewall gray with gunmetal. And then I ended up getting some of my rust colored paint, and I went over some of those coins to make them look a little bit rusty. And then for the spikes. So for the spikes, what I did is I ended up just dry brushing them suckers bone white. And then what I did is I got bone white and I mixed it with a little bit of beastly brown, and I put like a wash. Put like a wash on there on all the different layers. And then I ended up dry brushing from the bottom up the beastly brown. And then I dry brushed again downward with the bone white. So there's a nice, pretty cool transition right there on that bone work. So first time I've done something like this as far as the paint apps go. And I tell you what, I'm very pleased with the way that it turned out. I wish this camera would pick it up a little bit better, because these transitions look pretty damn good. So I'm pretty proud of this one. And yeah, you probably haven't heard me say that before, but with this guy, I really am. And then with the Death Dealer belt, what I ended up doing is I took it outside and I primed that sucker. And I wanted to get the same effect as these flat spots up here in the shoulder armor. So I really watered down the black and just went over it. Almost looks like a worn leather look. Painted the eyes solid black and the nose. And then I ended up going over the skull and just parts of the rivets with gunmetal. And then again, I got some of the rust colors, and I made that look kind of rusty too. Kind of filled some of that in, circles in with some rust, put some rust on the skull, on the tips, but didn't want to go overboard with it. And then I ended up having a Mythic Legions fur that I ended up getting with a couple Mythic Legions things. Like I said, I hold on to everything. I think it come with a couple shoulder armors I bought about a year or so ago. And it looks like it goes like through the peg and like a loincloth front and back. So I ended up cutting that in half. Used part right here in the front, glued it to the belt. And then I ended up cutting that hole a little bit bigger where it goes into the peg, chopped it back a little bit, and then I made it like a cape. I wasn't going to put the cape thing on him, but the reason I did that is because this thing has pegs in there. And with the sizing of this thing, I didn't want to just glue pegs to his back. So I ended up gluing up here on his traps with the fur. And then I ended up gluing the pegs in the back to the fur. And then I lifted this up, got me a little toothpick out, put a little super glue on it, and ended up gluing the pauldron here, gluing the pauldron there, and pushed it back on his chest. So he's pretty solid now. So I'm really happy with the way that this guy turned out. And bone white for the teeth. Really excited to get this guy done today. But that armor is what really does it for me on this guy. I mean, that was a cool head, but I don't know. That armor looks freaking sick. But there you have it, everybody. And this, the way it sits on there, is just the way that it is. So, then again, it's just a fur pelt, right? So there you have it, everybody. This is Bludgeon the Orc. I got to figure out a freaking weapon for this guy. But I was so excited. I got this guy all Mod Podged up, put him together, and wanted to get on here and just kind of show him to you. And this guy took a lot of freaking work. A lot of work. And I really think that as far as paint apps go, this is probably my best one yet. But thanks again for tuning in, everybody. I hope you all have an awesome day. Until next time. Woo!